In your physical brain, there is a nodal point, a nodule, that you refer to as the pineal gland. This is, in many ways, accurately represented by your society, by those who have recognized that they euphemistically call it the seat of the soul. What this means is, it is the interface. It is the neurological, neurochemical interface that allows for the translation of higher vibrational information into the brain in such a manner that then physical mind has access to it and can use that information to create a physical experience. How does this work? I will tell you. Thank you. The idea is that your pineal gland creates certain neurochemical transmitters. Primarily among them are what you call dimethyltryptamine, serotonin, and melatonin. The idea is that dimethyltryptamine is the primary one. It is vibrationally keyed to receive higher frequency vibrations. When those higher frequency vibrations, in a sense, are, shall we say, directed at the brain by the higher mind, directed into the brain, the pineal gland regulates the quantity of dimethyltryptamine, what you have euphemistically called DMT in your society, which is naturally produced in the brain, and it regulates the amount of that dimethyltryptamine that is appropriate for the reception of that information and the amount that is appropriate for the focusing of the physical mind in physical reality. So let us be clear about what is happening here. The pineal gland regulates this molecule and its vibration to determine exactly how and to what degree you are or are not focused in physical or non-physical reality. It is the gatekeeper. It is the regulator. It is the tuning dial for how much you are focused in physical or how much you are focused in non-physical reality. So the first level of reception is that this substance, dimethyltryptamine, receives the vibration of the higher information. Then also, where and when necessary, translates that vibrational energy into other neurochemical transmitters such as serotonin, melatonin, and along with dimethyltryptamine, in a sense, dumps these neurotransmitters into your cerebrospinal fluid, into your bloodstream, into the cells of your brain, into the cells of your body, in such a manner as to then set up the template neurochemically and then neuroelectrically to represent the idea of that information in neurochemical, neuroelectric form. Once it has been translated by these neurotransmitting chemicals in a neuroelectric, neurochemical form, then the physical mind has access to that information. Thus then the physical mind receives that experience as the experience of inspiration, imagination, thought patterns, so on and so forth. But also, it then takes that information and applies it in whatever way, shape, or form it has already applied such information before with respect to crystallizing or solidifying patterns of that information. These crystallizations, these solidifications of patterns of information that the physical mind has received before, that it has decided are appropriate or pertinent or relevant to it, are called belief systems and definitions. So, the idea of the crystallized belief systems thus then also will affect the efficacy of your ability to download that information, because you will always pass that information after it has been translated from higher frequency energy into neurochemical, neuroelectric patterns. You will always pass that information through the crystallized belief systems within the artificial personality construct that have been set up, and those belief systems will then regulate to what degree you actually have the ability to access that higher frequency information, more or less, depending upon the nature of the belief. that has been crystallized within the personality construct, within the physical mind. This is why it is so important to allow yourself clarity of belief system, clarity of how you define things in your physical reality experience. Because if you have certain kinds of belief systems that are constrictive, conditional in that sense, negative in that sense, mechanically speaking, they can limit your ability to actually perceive higher frequency energy being downloaded from your higher mind. And thus then they can make it seem as if you are incapable of receiving the guidance that is necessary for you to move through life in an effortless way, in a creative way, in a loving, joyful, exciting way. So the first stage always, because you are ensconced as physical personalities in physical reality experience, is to always get a handle on what your beliefs and definitions are about life, to make sure they are in alignment with what you prefer to believe and not contrary to it, that they are in alignment with your true natural vibration, which is really much closer to the higher frequency we're talking about, and thus then allow yourself to be capable of receiving that information in a much clearer and, shall we say, more original form. Now, the idea is that this can be enhanced in other ways as well, along with clarifying your belief systems to increase your sensitivity to higher frequency energy and thus receive those transmissions more in their natural form. Along with that, you can also, once again, do certain kinds of permission slip exercises that take advantage of the fact that you have this pineal interface in your brain. So, while working on your belief systems, not instead of, but in addition to working on your belief systems, you can also work directly with the pineal gland to allow it to produce the appropriate amount of dimethyltryptamine, serotonin, and melatonin that will be representative of the kind of neurochemical, neuroelectric transmission templates that are more clearly representative of the original transmission, so that the physical mind receives that without so much filtering. One way to do this is as you go to sleep, because the idea of DMT, melatonin, serotonin work very strongly in the nighttime hours, especially at what you call your 3 a.m. hour. You can, before you go to sleep, focus on the idea of your third eye, what you call the pineal gland, your third eye, metaphysically speaking, and allow yourself to focus on it. Allow yourself to feel the idea of that neurochemical being produced by that pineal gland, the regulator. Allow yourself to see that little nodule, or feel that little nodule, or hear that little nodule. However it works for you, relaxing and producing the appropriate amount of these neurochemical transmitters that will allow for more clarity in opening up those interdimensional windows, to allow you to perceive more purely the higher frequency energy that is being downloaded to you by your higher mind all the time. And thus then, by focusing on that and allowing it to produce the appropriate amount necessary for clarity and balance between the non-physical and physical realities that you are experiencing, you can bit by bit, either quickly or slowly, whatever is the appropriate rate for you, begin to feel more and more inspiration coming, more and more imagination working, more and more of your inner vision opening up with clarity, with brightness, with brilliance, with color. And you can begin to work more smoothly in conjunction, in a relationship with your higher mind. Remember this also about the idea of downloading. We hear often many of you asking, in a sense praying for, wishing for, asking for. Sometimes some of you will come to us or other beings or entities and say, "You have my permission to give me information." Well, yes, we know that. We are always, creation is always sending all that it can send. If you feel you are not receiving, it's not because it's not being sent. It's because you are interfering with the reception. So the idea is that if you want to receive more, become a better receiver. And you become a better receiver, a clearer receiver, by being willing to trust that that information is there to serve you, by clarifying your beliefs, by getting in touch with the idea of how those neurotransmitters are structured in your brain, and trusting the higher mind knows what it's doing as a guide.
Will letting go of the guilt allow me more access to my third eye?
Of course. Do you think that guilt is part of the idea of opening up your third eye?
No.
All right. Then open the door and understand that, again, even if you make what you typically call a mistake, you now know you don't have to feel guilty about it because you're willing to learn the lesson that helps you bring yourself back into alignment.
In reference to the third eye,
Yes, the pineal gland.
does that open when that energy, the Kundalini energy, rises?
Well, it does, but it also opens every time you drink. But the idea of accelerating that can be accelerated by raising your frequency and give you more opportunity to produce more DMT chemically, which will allow your body in its waking state to be more receptive and perceptive of higher dimensional frequencies and realms. Make sense?
Yes. Okay. I had this experience of my third eye opening,
Yes.
and it really felt just like it was blinking and
Yes.
very intense. And
Yes.
I guess my question is, how is the way to keep that open or in touch with that the most is simply by following our joy?
Well, remember the entire formula, please. Many people on your planet love to remember, act on your passion, follow your joy, act on your bliss, and they completely and conveniently, shall we say, trash the rest of the formula.
Okay.
Remember the whole formula. Act on your highest passion to the best of your ability, taking it as far as you possibly can until you can take it no further, and with absolutely no assumption, insistence, or expectation as to what the outcome ought to be. That's the whole formula. Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then it will work for you.
Oh, I don't say good day to you all this day of your time. How are you all? All right. All right, thank you. So, what's new? Anything changed this fall? No? All right. We understand, as we have said, that this would be the fall of 2016 where everything would change, and I think perhaps many of you actually believe us now. The idea, however, is that, as we have said many times, the circumstances themselves aren't the issue. Your state of being always remains the issue. How you respond to what happens is far more important to how you experience your reality than what is actually happening. The idea is to always, as we have also said, make sure that you always allow yourself the opportunity to give the circumstances that do occur a positive and beneficial meaning for you, even if you recognize that there may be things within whatever happens that you don't necessarily prefer. The fact that it happens can still be used by you in a positive way to propel you forward in the way that you actually prefer to be propelled, in the direction you actually prefer to go. You can allow yourself the opportunity to begin to recognize how to look at recent circumstances in a positive way that will allow you to receive a benefit no matter what anyone else chooses to experience. Now, we understand that a lot of you, as you say in your language, are freaking out. But again, there is many, many things that can occur still. Many things are, as you say, up in the air. The greatest effect here is the effect that you call shock and disorientation. But this can be a positive thing if you use it that way. For you are literally now in a place where you are disoriented from your previous reality. You are floating in limbo, many of you, And this is an opportunity for you to create a new reality in a very accelerated way, because you have been unlocked by the shock from your previous reality, from any degree of complacency, from any degree of assuming that things would simply move along as they always have. This can be used in a very powerful, transformative way. Look at it like this by analogy, if you are willing to do so. Let's say you are in a little boat, a kayak, whatever you wish to be in, and you're floating down a placid river, all nice and slow and peaceful. And then suddenly you hit some rapids. If you understand how to ride the rapids, you can actually navigate your way through them and get downstream much, much faster than otherwise you would have just floating along on the placid river. So, this is an opportunity for you to experience a few rapids. And yes, there may be some bumps. But if you can understand how to stay in the state of being you prefer, and allow yourself to ride those rapids with skill and vision, you will find that this is actually something, because of the unlocking, that has given you an opportunity to move very quickly, to accelerate very quickly in the direction of the reality you prefer. This is, at this nexus point right now, one of the major nexus points of the splitting into different parallel realities. One of the things you have been given the opportunity to see very clearly is that, in a sense, you are living in two different countries. Yes? Yes. Almost evenly divided. So the idea is, now that those who have, in your terms, quote-unquote, won your election, they now feel capable of allowing themselves to be clear about who they are, because they feel safe in doing so. And so this allows you the opportunity to see exactly who they are, and nothing is now hidden, because they think they are free to express themselves no matter in what way may seem non-preferential to you. It gives you a better idea, a much clearer idea, because they are no longer hiding their ideas. They are no longer hiding their perspective, their points of view. No matter how vibrationally incompatible you may find them, they have now exposed themselves for who they are. And thus, this is part of what we have said about you're getting everything out on the table very, very transparently, so that you can decide what kind of a world you actually prefer, and they can decide what kind of a world they actually prefer. I will tell you that there are still going to be a few surprises even for them, because the person that they have elected won't necessarily be always doing things the way they thought he would. So this is far from over for a lot of reasons. This is a process that's going to continue for quite some time, and you will see that it will fluctuate quite radically from time to time in a variety of different directions. But nevertheless, what you are really seeing, what you're actually experiencing for the first time more consciously, is literally two side-by-side realities that are reflective of actual parallel reality splitting. So, this is your opportunity to remain in a vibratory state, not be scared, not go negative, not in any way, shape, or form react, but respond with that positive vibration, so that you can ride that wave that is now happening, and allow yourself to ride it, as we said, in balance, with skill, in the direction that it can propel you toward what you prefer much, much more quickly. This shock wave is literally that, a wave of shock. And it can propel you very rapidly in the direction that you prefer if you use it that way. So please, remain in the state of being that you prefer. You have many symbols that are inherent within this particular event that has happened now, that are very similar to other events that have happened in terms of their shock ability as has been pointed out already, you have a very similar energy to what you experienced on what you call 9/11, and it was repeated on 11/9. So you're getting the mirror image and coming out the other side. You have the anniversary at this time of a wall that was torn down and people talking about building another one. So again, you see the polarity and the paradox in these events if you know how to look at them. You know how to read the symbols. Know what kind of a permission slip this is for you. So do not despair. Do not give in and match the vibration of fear and negativity. See this as an opportunity that others may not see. And lead the way by staying in the state of being that you prefer so you can, by example, demonstrate to others how they can also ride this wave. There is no need for the negative reaction. You're only matching the frequency of what you fear. Allow yourself to see this in a very different way, for it is a very powerful, magical opportunity that has unlocked you from an old reality. It is also, in many ways, acted as a safety valve for many kinds of tensions that were existing on your planet. We understand that there may be many other countries on your world that are reacting also with fear to this particular kind of change. But at the same time, if you look around, the ones that were actually, in a sense, most dangerous to you have now actually relaxed their stance because they feel that the person now in charge of your country is someone they can actually speak with. And whether that becomes true or not, the idea is the tensions in the areas that need to be brought down have now gone down. So things have actually smoothed out in those areas because they are of like mind. Now, it may not necessarily be a mind that most of you prefer, but the very fact that they think they can communicate breaks the tension. Do you understand? Yes. So you have to look at the results on a big picture, a big scale, to understand all the ramifications of what's going on here. But you will not be able to see them in a positive way unless you yourself choose to be in a positive state first. Because remember, you cannot perceive what you're not the vibration of. So by staying in a positive state, you will get more opportunity to have inspirations and big picture perspectives that will allow you to see what we're telling you very clearly. That this was an opportunity to unlock from the status quo, because it is one of the most important things that needs to happen in a civilization that's about to have contact with extraterrestrial societies in an open way, is that you get unlocked from the status quo. You have to drift free of all you assumed was normal, of all you took for granted, of the society you thought you were living in, to actually drift over into another vibration of another reality that contains the potential for extra-dimensional contact. And now you are drifting in that limbo. You are unlocked from the status quo. You now are open to the idea that, well, anything can happen now. And that is exactly the state of being you need to be in to actually experience open contact with us and other extraterrestrial and extra-dimensional beings. So this is working in your favor. And it is, in that sense, a gift you have been given, even though it may not necessarily have been the intention of those that gave it to you. Because things work in mysterious ways, do they not? And you can always see the positive and the negative and choose which one you prefer. Now, I will share something else with you. That also is a precursor and leading up to the idea of change in many areas on your planet, but specifically we are still going to focus on your particular country. Many of you have known for quite some time that our ship is above the area you call Sedona, Arizona. Yes? Yes. And we have talked about the idea that we are connected to the vortex, a very powerful vortex in that area. And we have been pumping energy and vibrations into that vortex so that it can contain more potential for discovering yourself, more potential for awakening into who you truly are, more potential for extraterrestrial contact. Now, here's the trick. As you watched on your election night, your country maps, yes, and you had your blue states and your red states popping up and you're not ready to count yet. And as you started to see more and more and more red, yes, more blue states previously flipping to red, yes, and you saw a huge swath of red through the middle of your country, yes, and then you saw one little arm of red come over and go down to what? Arizona. Now there's a link to that vortex for all those that consider themselves to be in the red areas, and the vibration of our energy can now begin to slowly leak and follow that path up into the red areas and start to blossom in all the little vortices that exist in those areas, so that unbeknownst to a lot of people, they will suddenly be bathed in an energy they quite not figure out what's happening. To change their mind, to change their perspective, they will be given an opportunity to have more of that energy by creating a connective link for themselves in that way to that vortex without even knowing what they're doing. But we know what's going on, and we know how to take advantage of that and allow our energy to blossom in those areas. Doesn't mean someone has to pay attention to it, but it affords more opportunity for that energy because they're all considering themselves now to be united, and they will look at that pathway in their own way, but they will not see the underground pathway that we see for that energy to leak into all of those areas. So that will also help promote the idea of opening up minds, opening up and changing perspectives, and allowing them to reconsider and see more clearly the choices that they are making. And you may see some very surprising changes going on in that area over the years to come, between your year now and your year of 2020. With respect to the idea of contact, with respect to the idea of the disclosure of the presence of us and other extraterrestrials, not saying it's going to happen, so please do not misquote us. But there is a higher probability now of disclosure actually happening. Because what do you have in the position of power? Someone who simply does what they think is cool and makes them look good. Hey, what if I told everyone that the aliens are real? Wouldn't that make me stand out above everyone else? Narcissist that I am. So there is actually a potential for someone who is typically a loose cannon to let something slip that they think might actually make them look good, regardless of what others may actually prefer them to do or not do. So the idea is, even though they may think they can rely on their candidate, they're going to get a few surprises. Now, the idea is to also allow yourself to remember that the affiliations of that person are actually much broader than you may think. They have actually come from an opposite political party. Yes? You understand the background? And they are allowing cracks to happen through which other kinds of energies and interests will come in that, again, many may think will serve their agenda, but may be surprised to find will actually serve an opposite agenda in time. So this has actually allowed them, in their complacency, to open up cracks and not pay attention to certain things that are leaking in. Such as the fact, and what may seem to be extremely paradoxical to you, that the focus on the election was so intense that those opposed to legalizing marijuana didn't know what hit them. weren't paying attention. And suddenly, that passed. And so you see the ideas working for you in a variety of ways, kind of like what you call your little magic trick of the cups and the balls. And where's the ball now? Where's the ball now? Where's the ball now? Oh, look over here. Oops, you missed it. So again, there are opportunities that are here for you that are peppered throughout this experience, this event. You just know how to look and how to find them by staying in the positive state. And with regard to the idea of disclosure, you will find that at this time, whether it's this individual or not, things have been accelerated in a different way, along a different path. Doesn't mean it was the same path as before, but it may actually allow for more probabilities and more opportunities to open up, more cracks to form in the status quo, so that things may crumble in such a way as to allow for new things to come in much more quickly than before, than the status quo itself may have actually allowed. We're not talking here about the idea of the integrity or lack thereof of any individual or who you may have preferred because they represent something that you are in alignment with. We're talking about the idea of exactly how your society needs to change to open up to new things that you all say you would like to happen, that you would prefer to have happen. And sometimes those things can only happen in the most unexpected ways, when things do create a shock wave within your consciousness, so that you're finally willing to truly let go of the status quo and realize that you really can't predict for yourselves a lot of the things that are going to be happening. All bets are off for you. And this is a sparkling opportunity, because now you can decide in this limbo state really where the ball on the wheel you're spinning will fall. But the idea of the analogy of roulette is that now there are two balls on the roulette wheel that represent the two different parallel realities. But the wheel is still spinning. They haven't really fallen yet. No matter how it may look, they haven't fallen yet. And when they do, you will see more and more and more acceleration in the split of the two realities, and more shifts and changes going on either side, until they finally settle out and you really start to feel the drifting apart of those two realities. And with regard to disclosure, you will find that as the pathways are laid out now, and as the probabilities have increased for alternate paths to such and to open contact, that sometime between now and certainly no later than the idea of 2025, some form of disclosure of our presence will occur. There is another demarcation point in your year of 2020. It might happen before, it might happen after. There are still many things in flux, many things in fluctuations that cannot be in any way, shape, or form predicted. All you need to know is that you have unleashed many more probabilities for you to take advantage of, to allow yourself to ride that wave in the direction of what you prefer, if you will just learn to look at it that way. Is it a deal? Yes. All right. Then we thank you for allowing us to share this perspective with you. There will be more to come. And in return for the gift that you are giving us, we ask now, how may we be of service to you? You may begin with your questions if you wish.
Hi, Bashar.
Annie, good day.
First, I just want to say you rock.
Well, we're in a good town for that, yes.
Pun intended.
Oh, right, thank you.
And I just think you're awesome. You know, ever since...
Only some awe?
I think you're way awesome.
Full of awe.
Full of awe.
Making us awful.
And you're funny. I think I need to learn how to lighten up more, but
That is the key to enlightenment. Learning how to lighten up on yourself.
Exactly. And that's really cool, because that dovetails into what I want to talk about.
How synchronous of you.
And I seem to have a lucky star. I'm at the right place at the right time a lot in my life.
Yes.
And it's getting more and more, and I'm super stoked about that.
Synchronicity increases in that way when you are more in alignment with yourself. It is one of the symptoms of the fourth density transformation, yes.
And I mean, you've changed my life.
No, you've changed your life.
Well, your words and your willingness to come to
It is our pleasure to reflect to you what you already knew but forgot. So thank you for remembering and changing your life.
So with that, I have started to, for the first time in my life, follow my passion.
How exciting!
I'm like really stoked about. And so now I'm in this gorgeous gallery here in Sedona.
All right.
And I've earned this PhD in applied statistics, and it so doesn't resonate with what I'm doing right now, and that's totally okay with me.
Yes.
And the deal is that I knew that I was always an artist in my heart and soul.
Yes.
And I put it like on the top shelf.
Oh, all right.
And so now I'm in these gorgeous, fine art galleries.
Yes.
And I'm working with this crystal in there. I'd like for you perhaps to talk about that if you would be so kind.
Crystal?
Yeah, there's a crystal in the gallery, and
it's a permission slip like anything else.
yeah, okay, that's exactly what
You understand that concept?
Yeah, intuitively. I don't know if I understand it as much logically, but I do intuitively.
All right, well, permission slip is simply any tool, any technique, any ritual, any object that allows you to give yourself permission to be more of who you are.
And
it aligns with your belief system in a way that allows you to believe that it acts as the catalyst, as the trigger, to simply give yourself permission.
Yeah, okay. And so as I'm more and more allowing myself to have permission to be the highest version of myself,
yes,
reinventing during this year, this really crucial year,
yes,
all these incredible tools that you have disseminated or, brought through. Well, I'm in the gallery, I'm selling the art off the walls, and now there's this voice within me that's like, hey, I can do this. Like, there's this artist in me.
Yes.
And I'm being asked, I really do think, I'm being asked to be an example because I'm starting to see some shadow sides of the artist.
Yes.
And things that I have judgment on.
No, all right.
And
giving you an opportunity to reveal to yourself those things that might be out of alignment so you can bring them back into alignment. Yes.
For him or for me?
For yourself always, or acting as an example for others if they need to do that for themselves.
Okay, so then I'm on this roll, I'm seeing this now, and now what's going on is, like, I feel like I'm begging them for money, like for a commission.
You don't have to beg.
I know, and so I'm going down and I'm looking in my heart and soul, why am I feeling like I have to beg for what I deserve?
Yes, well, why?
I don't know.
You do.
Well, I know about core beliefs,
yes,
and I know about investigating them, but I seem to somehow have this voice in me that
says
I'm a piece of shit or something, and I don't know why.
All right, well, as we discussed in the pre-recorded section, that is the voice of the critic. It is the father of lies. Yes?
Yes.
Well, why do you believe the lie? What makes the lie seem so convincing?
Maybe because I haven't allowed myself to know what's on the other side of that lie.
And what do you imagine is on the other side of the lie?
A life of that it keeps just getting better and better.
And why is that difficult to believe? We have, for some time now, reminded many of you that one of the greatest shocks you will all have in this age of transformation is that what you have always been taught as a fairy tale is actually the way life works. So we understand that can come as a shock.
Yeah, what it comes as when I'm feeling through it is like the other shoe's going to drop. Like somehow, and again, I know these are beliefs. And
that's all right. You need to perhaps learn the permission slip, the very powerful permission slip, that very mighty, mighty 2-word meditation. You know it? Would you like us to tell you the 2-word meditation?
Yeah.
So what? So the other shoe drops. So what? It's always an opportunity to neutralize the situation and to give it the meaning you prefer. Always. It doesn't matter how any circumstance is generated. It doesn't matter how anyone else's intention in the circumstance may be directed toward you. Every circumstance and every situation at every single moment is always an opportunity to neutralize it and imbue it with the meaning you prefer. Always. So it doesn't matter what happens because so what?
You can always neutralize it. You can always imbue it with a positive meaning. You can always get a beneficial effect out of it. So who cares what it is? Who cares how many shoes drop? Who cares if it's raining shoes? Who cares? Not you.
I love how you bring the shadow out.
Yes.
I love that about you. Well,
It's only by bringing the shadow out and balancing and equalizing it with the light that you get the opportunity to choose from a place of empowerment. When all things are equal, it's easy to choose which side you prefer without invalidating the side that you don't.
so are you saying then, like, when I'm in that moment and I'm on a roll and I'm selling all this art off the walls,
Yes.
and I'm feeling like, yeah, but they haven't talked to me about commission, and yeah, but this, that and that point, the way to get neutral rather than go towards that critic, that negative
Yes.
part, is, well, first of all, to be as present as I can.
Absolutely. And to clearly state what it is you prefer without fear, without judgment. Because it's all right to make a clear statement about what it is you prefer as a reciprocation.
Right.
It doesn't involve begging.
No.
It involves a clear statement of what you believe is equal to what it is you are doing. If someone isn't vibrationally aligned with that, you don't need to deal with them. You can deal with someone else.
I think that's where the kicker is, because I feel like I'm affected a lot by if others aren't in vibration, like the owners or, you know, anybody in life, then
Yes.
I feel out of control, and then
Yes.
I kind of take a couple steps back from that excitement and that
Yes,
that
but again,
manifestation.
remember, you cannot have any kind of a feeling experience if you don't have a definition you're not buying into first. You understand? If you're buying into the idea that what they're saying is true about you, then you're going to feel unworthy in that way. But the question is, why would you buy into it if you don't prefer to?
I think the question is, for me right now, is it's like time for me to be my highest version.
Yeah, well, that's
And-
not a question. That's a statement.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And there are things that are coming up simultaneously that are not my highest version.
That's all right. That's all right. Again, it's an opportunity to decide what you prefer. Sometimes you attract things that are not what you prefer, so that perhaps by contrast you get clarity on what you do prefer.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Every situation is an opportunity to clarify yourself. Every single one.
Wow.
Remember, excitement is a complete kit. When you act on the formula of excitement, the three-part formula, you act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability with zero insistence or assumption as to the outcome or how you should get there. When you act on that three-part formula, you open excitement up as a complete kit. That complete kit contains everything that you need to support you in continuing to act on your excitement. It becomes the driving engine of your life, moving you forward in your life in exactly the way you need to be moved. It becomes the organizing principle of your life, synchronistically arranging everything in the correct order you need to do it. It becomes the path of least resistance in your life so that you can simply flow where you need to flow. It becomes the thread that connects to all other expressions of excitement in your life to show you that everything is all interconnected in that way, and that one excitement will always lead to another. But to address what you just said, it also contains the reflective mirror to reflect to you what may be out of alignment with that excitement within you so that you can identify it consciously, integrate it, bring it back into alignment, and expand your excitement. So when you act on your excitement, one of its jobs, one of its duties, one of its abilities is to bring your attention to anything within you that is out of alignment so you can deal with it and bring it back into alignment to expand the excitement. So it's not going wrong if you're acting on your excitement and all these issues suddenly coming up. That means excitement's doing its job. The mechanism is working perfectly for you. Then the more you integrate, the more you align, the less you will need to see those things. It will smooth itself out. It's a self-perpetuating, self-guiding, self-correcting mechanism. It's unerring. Excitement is a complete kit. Complete, complete, complete. By definition, leaves nothing out that's relevant to your life. So whatever it brings you, if you're acting on your excitement, whatever it brings you, in whatever form it comes, must by definition be a part of your path of excitement, not an interruption in it. Make sense?
Yes.
Is this helping?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yes, I have another thing.
Yes.
Okay. So I wish I knew about you when I was young.
Why?
Because I feel like I have these patternings that are in me.
Nonsense.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you what I mean. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
The definition from our point of view of a pattern or a habit is something you do that you don't know you're doing. If you know you're doing it, it's not a pattern or a habit anymore. It's a choice. So you would ask the question, well, why would I choose something I don't prefer? Great question. Now you have something to work with. But if you just say, it's a pattern, it's a habit, I can't help it, you have nothing to work with.
So then, like someone...
One moment.
Okay, sorry.
One moment. That's all right.
Yeah.
Many people on your planet are taught to think, well, now that I've discovered the pattern, now that I've discovered the habit, now what do I do to let it go? The recognition of the pattern, the recognition of the habit is the end of the process, not the beginning of letting it go. You have to be outside the forest to look back and see that it was a forest. Otherwise, it's just trees. Do you understand?
Yes.
So when you say, oh, a habit, it's done, it's gone, because you're outside of it in order to be able to see it. If you keep doing the same thing, it's not because it's a habit, it's because you're choosing to. Why would you choose to do something you don't prefer? Because you have a definition attached to it that says it is the thing that benefits you the most. Does that make sense? Not at all. So find out what the definition is that makes no sense, that you've attached to the thing you prefer that prevents you from acting on it. That's how it works. You all have the same motivational mechanism. It's unerring, it's automatic, it's immediate. You use it flawlessly. There are no exceptions. You always move in the direction of what you believe benefits you. You always move away from what you believe does not. The issue is what you believe benefits you or what you believe does not. You can empirically, intellectually know that something is not beneficial and yet see yourself still choosing it. But the idea is the only reason you would do that is because somewhere in your motivational mechanism, you're telling yourself that the alternative is more frightening. You've somehow attached a definition to the thing you prefer that makes it actually seem to be the less scary thing to do. And so you stay with the thing you don't want to do because in your mind you have a definition that to be yourself is scarier. When you find out what that definition is that's making you run away from who you really are, and you identify it, you will see it's nonsensical and illogical and you'll drop it. And then you will move in the direction of what you prefer instead of in the direction of what you don't. But that's how that works. You need to reverse those definitions. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And sometimes I hear you, and
Yes.
when I'm starting to really investigate these core beliefs, and
Yes.
I think I've gotten one.
Yes.
And then it's like a rabbit hole or like a black
Yes.
hole.
There are many secondary and tertiary beliefs that may be attached to the core belief, and sometimes you can find a secondary one and you can let it go, but if you keep doing the same thing, what that tells you is you haven't found the core yet. Dig deeper.
Well, I'm asking this because I feel like I hear you.
Yes.
Would you guide me in that?
These things usually are issues wrapped around the idea of self-worth.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you deserve what you say you deserve? Are you an exception to the rule?
I don't know. No, I'm not an exception to the rule, but I was going to go to counseling. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is.
Do you feel unworthy of certain things?
I must.
You don't have to assume so.
Well, I kind of do because I keep coming to this. There's like this diametrically opposed. I manifest awesome stuff.
Yes.
And then on this other
All right, one moment.
Yeah.
Let's examine that more specifically, very briefly.
Okay.
The things that you manifest, that you say are in alignment with who you prefer to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that feels like.
Yes, I do.
You know what that's like. The things that you say you're having some struggle with.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between those two things in your mind, in your definitions? If you're manifesting here, if you're in alignment here, what reason are you creating to make this in your life different from that in your life? What's the definitional difference between the things you manifest and the things that you don't? Can you answer that question?
That's a big question.
Oh, all right.
The definitional difference.
Yes.
It probably ties back to worthiness, and for some...
But why are you worthy in certain cases and not in others, is what we're asking you. What's the difference between those two situations that you find yourself worthy in one and not in the other? What's the definitional difference?
I don't know.
Sure you do. Why is this okay and that's not?
Maybe in the tertiary, the deep, deep parts of the core belief, I just
Yes.
feel like I can't have it all.
Thank you. Why not?
I don't know.
Who said? Where is that written? Let me help you clarify.
I would love for you to help me clarify.
You're never going to have it all, but you're going to have all of what is relevant for you. That's the difference. You don't need all of it, because all of it's not relevant for who you are. But every single thing that is, you can have all of that. Why would you want anything that's not relevant? So unchain those definitions and make them more specific for you. You don't need it all. So who cares if you never get it all? Everything you need, you will have all of. Yes?
Yeah.
Does this help?
Yes, it does very much.
You deserve everything that's relevant for you. You don't need the things that aren't. But you don't have to wrap up the issue of lack of deservability into the idea that the irrelevant things won't come to you. They're irrelevant. So why even attach the issue of deservability to them? You don't need them. You could say, well, yes, I don't deserve them, but that's not really the issue. The issue is you don't need them. They're not relevant. So don't attach deservability to the idea that you can't have everything that's not relevant to you. That makes no sense.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that help clarify a little bit this idea?
Yeah, it does. And
And?
I would ask that perhaps if I may hear you more, and so as I journey through this terrain, I can...
We are always, along with many other beings, spirit guides, we are always sending everything it is possible for us to send to help all of you.
Okay.
If you're not receiving it, it's not because we're not sending it.
No, I can feel it.
All right.
Yeah.
Then open up to more of it and understand that when you do, you will know you always have guidance, you always have help, you are never alone, you are never lost. And allow yourself to know that as a fact, so that if you become confused, you can sit for a moment in neutral energy and just let yourself feel the connections that are there and know that you can never really be lost, even when you pretend that you are.
Thank you.
It's an illusion. It's a sham. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You can't be lost. It's a sham. It's an experience. That's real. But it's not empirically true. You can never actually be out of control. You can use your control to make it seem as if you are, but you never actually can be. You can never be disconnected from creation. You can use your free will to make it seem as if you are, but you never actually can be disconnected. If you really were disconnected from creation, you wouldn't exist. And you couldn't create the experience of being disconnected if you actually were. See the paradox?
Yeah.
Learn the power of paradox. Learn to see it clearly. And it will bring you back to center, because paradox is simply the recognition from another point of view that what appear to be polar opposites actually issue from the same center point. Is this helping you?
Very much. And thank you for just everything. I'm very appreciative, and I just want to thank you from my
If
heart.
you are appreciative, then we would suggest that you appreciate yourself that much more. All right?
Thank you.
It is no accident in your language that you use the same term for money as you do for self-worth, appreciation. You want to appreciate yourself, then you will grow with interest. Depreciate yourself, and you will be bankrupt. Look at the analogies you have set up in your own language as reflections. Yes?
Yes.
So, appreciate yourself.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And may I ask about the little hybrid babies?
Nope.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Let the past define us and...
Stop. Would you like to change that?
We choose
Thank you.
to let the past define us.
Thank you.
And we choose to let the future steer and guide us.
Yes.
Can you go into a little more detail on some of the mechanics at work here that have us get stuck in these moments and have us holding on to these beliefs and refusing to let them go?
Yes. We have described this before. We will describe it briefly again. The mechanics literally have to do with beliefs that are in what you might call the wrong place. So, in other words, we've described to you the motivational mechanism. Have you heard us talk about this?
Yes.
Do you not understand it? That's the mechanism that you're asking about. The motivational mechanism. Do you understand it? Do you remember what it is?
Can you please expand on it?
I will take that then as a no.
Sure.
The motivational mechanism for all of you is this. This is a given. You will always, and I mean always, without fail, there are no exceptions, none of you, no exceptions, anywhere, at any time, ever, all of you will always move in the direction, act in the direction of what you believe is to your benefit. You will always move away from what you believe is not to your benefit. Once you understand that mechanism, then the logical questions follow. If I recognize that I am choosing things that I can see are not to my benefit, and I understand how the motivational mechanism works, that would mean, that must mean, I must have a belief attached to that mechanism that makes what I know would be to my benefit appear not to be to my benefit. I must have a belief attached to it that makes what I know is not to my benefit seem more beneficial than the alternative. That's the mechanism. Therefore, when you find out what those beliefs are, you can see that they don't actually make any sense where you have placed them. And once they make no sense, they're gone, and you can then recognize that a different belief, a more positive one theoretically, will take its place in the proper order in the motivational mechanism, and there will be no more impediment. You will break through it. That's how it works. So it's about examining the beliefs you have about the past in relation to you, the beliefs you have about the future in relation to you, and finding out which ones don't work for you and creating ones that do, and then letting go of the ones that don't and implementing the ones that do. The motivational mechanism framework doesn't care what you place on it. It will work the same. It will always amplify what you say is to your benefit, always, even if it's not, because you're the one that's placed it in that position in the mechanism, making it seem more beneficial or less beneficial. You have to get the order in the way that works for you. Yes?
Right.
Is this making sense?
Indeed.
Is this answering your question?
It is, and I'm wondering if there are other, I guess, psychological or energetic components.
Of course there are.
Yeah.
But they're still all based on what you believe to be true.
Right. That's
It
the
all
foundation.
comes down to that. Mm-hmm. All of it. So it doesn't matter in what way you might express it psychologically. It doesn't matter in what way you might have been taught
The idea is you're telling yourself a story about yourself that doesn't work for you. Tell yourself a story that does. If along the way, because of the reflective mirror in the kit of excitement that reveals to you beliefs that don't work for you, which is its job, yes?
Yes.
So part of your excitement is to find out what is not your excitement. That's part of your excitement.
Yes.
So you can let it go and add the energy to your excitement. How exciting is that? Very. So when you proceed to the best you can in exploring these things, you will start to construct a different story that makes more sense to you about who you prefer to be in that story. Then you will start living that story, and you will experience a different kind of life. You don't have to make it more complicated than that, unless you believe you must. But if you're experiencing more complication than that, it's only because you've been taught to believe that you should. Mm-hmm. Remember, there is no such thing as an inherently difficult circumstance. Only your belief allows you to experience it that way. Everything is neutral. Doesn't have built-in meaning. You give it meaning with your definitional belief, and it responds in kind because it doesn't have a choice to do anything else but reflect back what you have put out. That's the law. That's the nature of existence. It's the structure of existence. Physical reality doesn't exist outside you. It exists within you. It's a concept. It's a projection. It's a dream. There's nothing out here. Nothing. There actually is nothing at all. There is no outside, in a sense. It's not when I say there's nothing out here that there is still an out here with nothing in it. There is no out here for anything to be in. There is no out here for nothing to not be in. There is no out there. Out there. So,
from within, so without.
It's just a reflection. Mm-hmm. Again, you know that when you look at your reflection in a mirror, you're not really over there. Mm-hmm. It's just a reflection. Is this helping?
Very much.
All right. Anything else that you would like some clarification on? Or do you feel that this is actually answering your question sufficiently?
It is. And what you've explained about time travel, shifting between realities, is, and especially with regard to the future, that seems easily understandable, especially with a linear perspective.
Yes.
What is, I suppose, or could be chosen to be a more challenging understanding is that of how the past is not set and equally malleable.
Yes, but that's only because that's what you've been taught to think about the past. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean that's the way it is. That's just the way you've been taught to look at it.
Right. And one of the most striking examples seems to be that of miracle healing.
Yes.
So someone has an irreversible ailment, and they come to a point where they experience that healing, and suddenly it vanishes, and they stand up out of the wheelchair or whatever, because they shifted to a reality where it did not exist.
Exactly, and that means they are not the same person that had it. They've never had it. Mm-hmm. It goes that far. Do you understand? Yes. It's not that they're the same person and they no longer have it. They are a person who never has had it. Right. Therefore, it doesn't even show up anywhere in the timeline. Yes? Now, you can create the continuity if you want as an experience. Oh, yes, I used to have it and now I no longer have it. But in a sense, that's just wordplay. Because you actually are a new person who never had it. But you're maintaining a sense of continuity that you're the same person who let it go. That's just the way you need to experience it for yourself so that you can gauge that you have changed, that you have grown, that you have made something else happen. That's your way of knowing you've become a new person. You're just using language that makes it seem as if you're the same person when you're not. That's all.
Okay.
So it's the difference, as we say, between describing an experience and actually describing the mechanism that causes the experience. Big difference. Big difference. That's why many of your definitions are outdated, old-fashioned. You still think that the description, the old-fashioned, outdated description, is actually a description of the mechanism. It's often not at all. It's just a description of how you choose to experience it. But it may have nothing to do with how the mechanism that caused it actually works at all. Do you understand?
Right.
The simple example we often give is the concept you call telepathy, which we term telepathy. Most people on your planet go, oh, well, you can read my mind. No, you can't. What you're doing is creating a vibrational frequency that is so similar to the vibrational frequency of someone else. You're mirroring them so closely, you're having the same thoughts at the same time. The effect, the experience seems to be, you're reading my mind. But the mechanism is no such thing. The mechanism is you're simply on such a similar wavelength that you're having the same thoughts because only those thoughts are germane to that wavelength. Therefore, you're in sync with one another, having the same thoughts simultaneously like two tuning forks vibrating in harmony. But the tuning forks aren't reading each other's minds. Do you understand?
Yes.
They are simply representing the vibration that represents that particular frequency. And that's it. So, description of the mechanism, very different than a description of the experience. Doesn't invalidate either, but it's important to tell the difference. Because when you just go with the idea of the description of the experience, you're reading my mind, it creates all sorts of misunderstandings and assumptions that don't work in your reality. The whole idea sometimes of your scientists attempting to test for psychic abilities like telepathy, they find many times that there's no evidence for it. Why? Because they're attempting to test the experience. It doesn't tell them what the actual mechanism is behind it. Therefore, they're doing the wrong test. And of course, they find no evidence for it because they don't understand what it is. They have proven that the experience is not the mechanism. That's what they've proven by saying there's no evidence for this. That's all they've proven. But they haven't yet realized that the mechanism itself is completely different from the experience that they've just disproven is not the mechanism. Yes? Mm-hmm. Does that help?
Yes, indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you kindly.
You are kindly welcome.
Hi.
And you good day.
Hi. So I'm new. So
you are? What, you were just born?
I mean, new to you.
Oh, all right. Then we must be new to you.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
So I hope this question doesn't make you want to energetically smack me. I'm sure it's been asked many times before.
Well, if it does, then probably that would be a good thing for you.
Okay, maybe. I'm having these high-pitched frequencies that people have heard about on the internet, and I've read about it, but they're not stopping.
Yes.
And I've been doing a lot more meditation and opening up a lot more to a lot of things spiritually.
All right.
So they're kind of getting annoying, and
They're getting in the way?
No, they're just they're there, and they're kind of annoying sometimes.
Why are they annoying? What do you think?
High-pitched noise in my ears.
Yes, so what? What is it preventing you from doing?
Nothing, but why are they there, and are they ever going to go away?
Yes, when you catch up to the frequency. When you match the frequency.
Okay. So why are they there now, and what can I do to catch up faster? Because they are annoying to me a little bit.
All right. Do you remember what we just said about the idea of the formula of acting on your passion to the best you can with no insistence, no assumption about the outcome?
Yeah.
Are you doing that all the time?
I am.
Are you sure?
I mean, I'm acting on it big time. Yeah. I am. I'm starting a whole new company. I'm doing it. But it's work, too, so...
I beg your pardon?
There's also work involved.
So what?
No, I am acting on my passion. I really am. And that's
Are you doing it in the most exciting way you could be doing it? That means no, because you hesitated. You see, when it's
uh-huh.
yes, there's no hesitation. So the fact that I asked that question and you hesitated means no. So what could you be doing, or what way could you be doing it that's more exciting than the way you're doing it?
I have to work a part-time job while I'm doing this, and I don't want to, but I have to.
Why do you have to?
Money.
Here it comes.
I just have to right now. I have to,
Do you understand
Just for a
that
little
it's okay if that's true, but do you understand that this is your insistence?
It's just part-time, but...
Here comes the smack.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's fine.
You're not going to get away with this.
Okay.
Do you understand our definition of abundance?
I've heard it.
Would you like to hear it again?
Yes, please.
Are you paying attention?
I am.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right. Abundance is the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. Abundance can come in many forms. We understand on your planet, money is one of the symbols of abundance. Symbol of abundance. It's not abundance, it's a symbol of abundance. There are other symbols of abundance, other forms. Being given a gift freely is a form of abundance. Synchronicity is a form of abundance because it brings you what you need in perfect timing. When you relax your insistence that it should only come in one form because you, with your physical mind, have determined that that's the only way it will work for you in your life, you are closing the doors to the other ways abundance could come that might actually be a path of least resistance, might actually be more capable of supporting you than insisting on that symbol having to be there in a certain way, in a certain amount, at a certain time. You are putting so many restrictions and constrictions on the flow of energy through you that it's no wonder and no surprise that those constrictions are causing the energy to create a frequency of resistance that you're hearing in your head. You're constricting your own flow. Too much. Now I understand you have the beliefs that say, I have to do this, I have to do that, and that's fine. I am not saying that you should not honor your belief. What I am saying is, recognize that it's only because of your belief that you experience the need to have to do it. And the more you are capable of taking whatever time you can take, you are willing to take, you feel comfortable taking, to act on your excitement, will allow, over whatever time you're comfortable for it to take, will allow your excitement to start proving to you it can support you, it can sustain you, it can propel you, it can expand you. And bit by bit, again, at whatever rate your belief system is comfortable with, you will start letting go of what you now insist you have to do and start doing what you need to do. Remember, it's not about what you want to do. It's about what you need to do. Is this making some sense?
Yes.
Is this helping?
Yes.
So the idea is to allow yourself to look at the ways in which you are choosing to do things based on what you think it must be because of the beliefs you have that are restrictive beliefs, and start relaxing them a little bit and looking around for different ways to perceive and define things so that you can do things in a way that are more in alignment with who you prefer to be, which will allow your energy to flow more easily, allow you to relax those constrictions, and diminish the resistance vibrations that you're experiencing that are translating into that pitch.
Okay.
Is this helping?
Yes. Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
I've been working with crystals a lot, and I know you have your crystals, and I haven't caught up in that area yet. But can you address crystals in general?
Yes. In general, they fall into the category of what we call permission slips. Permission slips are simply any tool, any technique, any ritual, or any object that, according to your belief system, will allow you to circumvent your belief system. Therefore, it allows you, with your belief system, to give yourself permission to change your belief system. But you're the one changing it. It's just that you believe that the permission slip will help you do it, and that's fine.
Okay, so these, like the quartz here and the sphere there, you don't think that energy, that...
Of course they are energy. Of course they are reflective of consciousness. But what I'm saying is they are reflective of it. They're not causing it.
Okay.
They're reflective of what you yourself decide is true for yourself.
Got it. Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, last one really quick. Sorry. I've been seeing black crows like constantly in weird ways. It's very obvious that it's a sign. It's not just like
synchronicity. Yes.
Constantly, all the time, and I'm trying to figure out what does this mean. And it's like,
all right. Well, there's a couple of ways you can look at the symbol. First of all, by not necessarily allowing yourself to really go with the flow, by experiencing this constriction. Remember, insistence equals resistance. Remember that formula. Insistence equals resistance. Yes? So by not relaxing that insistence, you're kind of, and by experiencing these things that seem to hold you back, that make you feel like it's holding you back, you're kind of taking the path, well, I'll just put it this way, you're kind of taking the path of death. Yes? So, what's a large group of crows called? A murder of crows. So, in one sense, the crows are showing you that you're taking the path of death. But on the flip side, also, crows are known for going, ooh, shiny. Ooh, shiny. And being fascinated by things that shine, that glitter, that glow, attracting their attention. So they're attempting, as a synchronistic symbol, to reflect to you, just focus on the light. Yes? That will move you forward and take you away from the need to constantly follow the path of death.
Okay.
Does this help?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Let's say, for the moment, if you wish to just sort of give a little bit of a fun label to that synchronicity, that the primary crow that you can relate to as a symbol that represents all of that, you can give that crow a name. Would you like to do that? Call it Edgar Allan Crow.